If you're looking and you're liking, stay tuned. Thai coconut soup, also known as Tom Kha, I just call it delicious. Spicy, cool, and creamy, it's the perfectly balanced soup, served hot or cold. And if you're not down with that, I got 4 words for you. No soup for you. To the kitchen. Alrighty, so we're going to start off with a who's who of our ingredients today, starting off with ginger. This is traditionally done with galangal, if I'm even saying that correctly. It's in the ginger family, but I couldn't get my hands on it, so ginger is a common substitute. I'll grate this down for a couple tablespoons of minced ginger. Then I'll go with 2 stalks of lemongrass. Absolutely love lemongrass. It's such a unique flavor. Just make sure to get rid of the outer layers because those are pretty tough, but then you can chop down the insides nice and finely. Next, I'm going to go with a big old leek. Make sure to cut off the green part, peel off the outer layers, and rinse this really nicely. And this is going to be our onion of the dish. Diced mushrooms, so that meaty umami flavor. I'm just using white mushrooms, but use whatever kind that you like. Now, a good curry paste. It's almost like a cheat code for our soup. It's going to have a lot of these ingredients and then some. A lot of herbs, spices, chilies, obviously. Just read the ingredients and make sure that it's starting with the good stuff first. Lime for some nice citrus and acidity. Cilantro for some herby freshness. And for the sweetness factor, you have a few choices. I'm just going with a couple tablespoons of brown sugar. And of course, one of the stars of the show, the Thai chili. This isn't one of those really thin, long, crazy hot Thai chilies, but this is a Thai chili and the closest I could find. I'm just going with one because between that and the curry paste, it's going to give me the spice that I'm looking for. A couple tablespoons of some nice salty fish sauce, and to balance out the heat, the other star of the show, coconut milk. This is one 13.5-ounce can of coconut milk, and it will be plenty to balance out my heat. I'm going for shrimp today. You could do chicken, tofu, keep it completely vegetarian. The choice is yours, but these are some small shrimp. I'm going to leave them whole because I want them to cook quickly and I want to see them. I'm going to take the shells here from this 1-pound bag of shrimp and make my own shrimp stock. Literally just cover the shells with water and any of the other vegetables that you have. Whenever you're making stock, you can really throw anything there. I got some bay leaves in there. And just let it simmer for as long as you'd like. The longer you do, the better the flavor that's going to have. And we're going to strain it anyways. So this is going to be the base of our soup and what's going to really make it punch you in the face with flavor. 1-pot meals, you know I love them, so I'll get my pot heated up. And first I'm going to start with the mushrooms because I want to get all that liquid out of them. So I'm just going to do them dry over high heat. Let them really sweat out all that liquid. Once they look like this is when I'll get my oil in there. You can go with coconut oil if you have it. I'm just using vegetable oil. Now let's go with our chili pepper, our ginger, our lemongrass, big old leek that I cut down to small pieces. Again, rinse this really well. Tends to kind of trap a lot of dirt and mud. Give this a nice stir, and this is when we can season with a little bit of salt. Don't go crazy with the salt yet, and a lot of black pepper. We really want to start building and layering the flavors from the beginning. Once you cook this down, it's time to add in our curry paste. This is about 2 to 3 tablespoons. There's a lot of good ones on the market, so just read the label. Whatever it starts with first, it's what it has the most of. We'll give that a stir in, and now the spice is really permeating throughout the oil, throughout all of our vegetables. Now the kick is coming, baby. But fear not, the coconut milk will save us. Please don't fight me, Idris. Once you've kind of cooked this out, let's get our strainer right over the pot, and we will pour our stock directly over the pot, catching all of these vegetables. Give them a nice squeeze to get every bit of stock out of the vegetables and the shrimp shells. And now this is already tasting delicious. If you're in a rush, you could start finishing your soup now, but I'm going to be patient about this, so I'll give it a quick taste to adjust for seasoning. It is already tasting yummy. And now I'm just going to let it simmer for at least a half hour to an hour. You can let it go for as long as you want to really develop that flavor. Then we'll go in with our fish sauce, a nice squeeze of fresh lime, get our brown sugar in there to balance out the sweetness. And then once again, I'll let this simmer for about 20 to 30 minutes just to let these kind of new flavors get to know the existing ones and kind of harmonize. And we already have a really kick-butt vegetable soup. If you want to stop here, you could, but we're not quitters. We're going to go in with our shrimp. And our soup has a ton of flavor. I'm still going to season these with just a little bit of salt and pepper before they go into the soup. So once I get them all into there, I'm going to bring this back up to a gentle simmer. As soon as it simmers, your shrimp are probably done. These are so small and shrimp cook quick to begin with. It's probably going to take a minute or two in this hot stock. When you pull them out, you'll be able to see that they're cooked through in a jiffy. You don't want to overcook them, so at this point, you can just turn the heat off. This is a spicy soup, so it's time for Mr. Coconut to join the party. We'll pour our coconut milk right into there, give it a quick stir, and now you can see that really cool pinkish orangish color. I'm partially colorblind, so whatever you see is probably more reliable than what I see. I'm going to give that a nice taste. Absolutely delicious. Now it's time to throw in our fresh cilantro. This ridiculously flavored broth with all those veggies packed full of shrimp is an unbeatable combination. If your cilantro is floating on top, just give it a nice stir to expose that really cool color underneath. And this bad boy is ready to go. It's spicy, it's hot, it's perfect. You can eat it just like this, but I like this ice cold, especially because it's hot outside. So some nice cold cold soup will really hit the spot. The longer it sits, the longer it mellows, the better the flavor will get. So I will grab a chilled bowl, pile high my shrimp and vegetables, and then I will slowly cover that with all of this amazing broth, tear a few pieces of fresh cilantro over top, and that's the ticket in my book. The smell alone should titillate your senses unless you're some kind of undead walking zombie, The Last of Us sort of thing, but there's just so many unique flavors in this bowl, so many things going on to come together harmoniously. The spices, the herbs, the shrimp, the heat, the cool creaminess. I don't think you could fit any more flavor into this bowl, but it all works together so nicely. The meatiness from the mushrooms and of course letting that shrimp stock develop its flavor is what gives us such a nice rich soup. It's so light yet so satisfying. And this is a judgment-free zone around here, so if you want to grab your straw and go to town on this, I actually had to try this for a second because it was that darn good that I wanted to slurp it up. And I don't always eat soup when it's hot out, but when I do, I prefer Tom Kha. Stay hungry, my friends.